Everybody, and welcome back to the channel, Slowpoke Racing and the Ultimate Racing League. This is our Sunday evening championship, and we're with the Pro Split 2 guys. So not quite at the top, but not far off it. Very quick drivers, all of these. This is round 5. We're at where are we? We're at Suzuka, round 5. Halfway mark. Now, I was going to bring you the tables, but I'm not very well prepared this morning. But I think what I'm going to do, what will be better, is we'll get this race done. And then if I bring you the tables at the beginning of next week, because next week is the start of the endurance races. So that'll be all the sprint races completed after today. So I think it'd be better to bring you the tables next week at the definite halfway point. So apologies if you were hoping for the league tables this week. I will bring them next week, as I say, at the halfway mark. Now, as I say, we're at Suzuka over in Japan. I'll just bring up my little bit of information. 3.6 miles, 18 turns. Really technical track, this one. It's a great track if you get it right. If you get it wrong, it's an absolute nightmare. Plenty of run-off places into gravel, or the kitty litter as I like to call it. But it is a great track. We'll have a little bit more a look at the track as we go around. So race 1, I think we should just get straight into it, shall we? So let's get my normal camera now. Ooh, unfortunately, you can see it is dark out there. Suzuka and Japan known for its rain, these races as well. So fingers crossed it doesn't rain in this race. But those dark clouds are looming. So we'll see. But yeah, unfortunately it's a night race. So we're going to see lots of headlights. There we go. There's all the headlights. But never mind. So on pole is Gower. Now, I believe this is his first time on pole. He has got a win this season. So he's put himself in a fantastic position for his second win, getting himself on pole position. Then just behind him is Nath. Dan is third. He's having a great season so far, is Dan. I think he's probably championship leader at the minute, or if he's not far off. But great season for Dan so far. Only could get himself third on the grid, though, for this first race. But keep an eye on him. Mika is in 4th. Then we've got Grasshopper in 5th. Paul is 6th. Stubbs is 7th. PY 8th. Chuck is 9th. Silly Shot 10th. Brian Moncani 11th on the grid. And Bloomfield just behind him in 12th. So 12 out of the 16 drivers made it this week, which is a fantastic turnout. So without further ado, let's get this one underway, shall we? Grid start as normal for this season. And there we go, we are off and racing. Good start from the two guys at the front. Nathan's got the inside line as they head down towards turn 1 at the first curve. Now then, the Japanese not really known for their imagination when naming these corners. So you'll kind of have to bear with me for that one. So everybody around turn 1, I think, pretty successfully. It's a bit of a tricky turn, but yeah, we're all round. That leads us up into the S's at turns 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Before heading into Dunlop Curve at turn 7, and Nath out in front with Gower absolutely sniffing around the rear end. So a great start from Nath, but Gower has got himself alongside as they go around Dunlop Curve. It is side by side as they head down towards Degner Curve at turn 8, and Gower just gets his nose in front. It looked like Dan went a little bit wide and got himself onto the grass there, but recovered very quickly to get himself back up into 5th. Paul is into 4th. So at the minute we've got Gower. Mika, where did Mika come from? I'm going to go back and have a look at this, because Mika was actually in 4th position as we head down towards Degner Curve at turn 8. Yeah, Dan went very wide and onto the kitty litter, didn't he? And then he got himself on the inside of Nath. There was a little bit of a door scraping session there, but nothing too serious. And Mika just propels himself up into P2. Gower up into the lead of this race now as they go around the hairpin at turn 11, and it is literally called the hairpin. Like I said, they're not very imaginative, the Japanese, when it comes to corner names. So as we're just following Gower then around, where are we? We're at turn 12 at 200R. and then into Spoon Curve at 13 and 14. Mika in second, Nath in third, trying to get in the slipstream. Good exit is what you need out of Spoon Curve because it takes you up the hill towards 130R. Now they're called 200R and 130R because it is just the radius of the curve. Like I said, not very imaginative, but there we go, it is what it is. So Gower out in front, Mika in second, Nath in third, Paul in fourth as they go into the chicane at the Casio Triangle. It is Paul sitting there in fourth, Dan in fifth, all very closely bunched up at the minute, which is what we like to see. Dan picked up half a second. That's probably as he goes through that chicane. You can actually take chunks out the curbs here, but if you do cross the white lines, then there you go. The result is half a second, and that's what Dan's got. Grasshopper in sixth. He's got Stubbs chasing him down. Should we jump on board with Stubbs as we now go into the S's at turn 2? 3, 4, 5, 6. As I say, this is a very technical part of the track. Quick look behind us, you can see P. White in 8th. Now the trouble with this track is, as you can see, it is very, very narrow, so very little overtaking opportunities. You have got the back stretch, excuse me, leading up to 130R. You have got the front stretch, which is the one that goes across the start-finish line, but apart from that, very little opportunity to get by, as we're just following Stubbs through turn 9. Then we go through the crossover. Let's get out of there and leave him alone as we head up towards the hairpin, as the guys go through the gears down into turn 1 just to get these cars around this corner before getting back on the power again. P. White in 8th, Chuck in 9th with Brian Moncarney and Bloomfield behind him in 10th and 11th. I said earlier, this is one of them tracks, if you get it right, it's a fantastic track. Get it wrong, and it can cost you all sorts of problems. It can cost you the race, actually. I've seen people go from first to last in one turn on this track. Now, as they come up towards 130R, we're just going to stay with Chuck, and I'm going to show you just how quickly this corner comes up, and then it's very easy to throw you out there onto the right. Chuck did it very, very well there, though. You can go out over to the right there, pick up on that AstroTurf, and that's you done as the cars go spinning off. I found that out myself, actually, in my second race yesterday. So everybody's still relatively close. We've got Bloomfield and Silly Shot. Oh, Silly Shot, what's happened to him? Shall we have a look? Let's see how... No, it's too far back. Apologies, we missed that, but Silly Shot down now into 12th. We only lost a couple of places as Silly Shot, but I'm sure it's not the start he wanted. Bit of a gap now starting to open up between Bloomfield and Brian Moncarney. Brian Moncarney is staying with the rest of the pack. You can see he's got Chuck just ahead of him in 9th with P. White in 8th. Very difficult to see where anybody is on this track, isn't it? Up at the top, though, we've got Gower starting to open up a gap now. You can just see the headlights of Mika and Nath coming up behind him. But yeah, a gap is starting to appear. Now, for some reason, we're not seeing what the fastest lap is. I'm guessing it's Gower on a 2 minute 0.8 seconds. So let's just have a look. 2:01, 2.8 there for Nath as well. 2.811 and 2.830. So just, well, what, 0.02 of a second separating Nath and Gower for speed-wise on this track. But Nath really putting Mika under a lot of pressure now as they come up towards Spoon Curve, and it is Nath trying to get himself on the inside. It is a very tight turn. It looks like a long sweeping left-hander, which it is, but it is very tight. And you've just got to be a little bit careful getting onto the throttle. You need to get on nice and early, but you overdo it and the back end will come round and say hello to the front. But these guys making it look very easy as we head up through the back stretch onto 130R. And then we head towards Casio Triangles, the chicane, for the third time. And the guys through here nice and safely. Dan in 5th, just behind Paul. Then we've got Grasshopper He's got Stubbs just behind him still, so no real change. Like I say, it is very, very difficult to overtake on this track. Even when you get out of the Casio Triangle and through the final turn at turn 18, back onto the start-finish straight what we're on now, well, just coming to the end of now, you've got to be tucked right underneath the car in front of you if you want to make that pass before you get to turn 1, because it really does come up to you very, very quickly. So Grasshopper having a fantastic battle with Stubbs. You know what, I'm going to do the on-board track, I think. Shall I do it in race 2 or shall I do it in race 1? We'll do it in race 1. I think race 2, we are expecting rain. I've just been checking the weather and we are expecting rain a little bit later on in the day, so I think we'll do the onboard track full lap, although it's at night time, which is not ideal, but yeah, we'll do it in a minute. We'll do it in a minute. As P. White just getting himself a little bit out of sorts there, and that's a loud chuck through as he goes through turn 9 there, heading up towards turn 10 and the hairpin. So Chuck now moves up into P8 after that slight mistake from P. White. As we go through turns 8 and 9, very tricky right-handers, pair of them. And as you can see, P. White just got himself a little bit out of sorts, but that's all it takes, one very slight mistake, and the guy behind you will capitalise on it. Not a lot really happening. I mean, there's plenty of racing happening, but not a lot of overtakes going on. We've got Paul sitting there in 4th. Everybody's just in a line, aren't they? They're all behaving themselves. It's all very gentlemanly at the minute. Gower out in front by well, a few car lengths actually. Let's see if we can find as he comes up towards the chicane. There we go. You can just see the headlights of the chasing pack behind him as he goes around the final turn, then turn 18 onto the start finish stretch. Now this is 0.7 of a mile from the exit of turn 18 down towards the entry of turn 1, and Gower, well, he's got a decent lead at the minute. It's not as big as he would like it, I know. Mika desperately trying to catch up, but he's got Nath all over the back of him, and Nath just having to check himself there before tapping Mika. Just a bit of a love kiss there, a little bit of a bumper kiss, just to let Mika know that he's still there, but there was no way Nath was going to go for a move there. This is the problem with this section of the track, the S's, that if the car in front of you brakes, then, well, you've got nowhere to go except into the back of him, and I think that's what nearly happened to Nath, but he did well, recovered it. Mika still in 2nd, Nath in 3rd, Paul in 4th, sticking with those guys. Likewise is Dan, he's staying there as well. It is just a waiting game on this track. You've got to be patient and hope that somebody makes a mistake in front of you. Then we've got a bit of a gap now opening up back to Grasshopper in 6th. He's still got Stubbs behind him, so Stubbs just not letting Grasshopper breathe, is he? I love the livery on Stubbs' car. Absolutely fantastic livery. It's a pity we can't see it. We will have a look in the wet if it does rain. It is scheduled rain. In fact, looking at the radar now, it is scheduled very heavy rain later on in the day, so that should be fun. Then we've got P. White down in 8th. He's got Brian Moncarney. Oh, Chuck, what happened? Wow, he's going back a long way, haven't we, Chuck? He got himself up to P8, I'm sure he did. And now he's back down in P10, so did he have to serve a penalty, or was it a bit of an off moment? If these people are having an off moment, I'm missing them, and which is unusual. We always manage to catch somebody, don't we? But there you go. So let's have a look. Where is everybody then? We will come on board with Gower, I think, when he comes. We'll stick with him. Let's just stick with him, and then he goes across the start-finish line. We are on lap 5 of 13, so we'll do a full lap with Gower, and he can take us around this Suzuka circuit and show us what it's like from his point of view. So let's jump on board then with Gower as we cross the start-finish line, heading down towards turn 1, which is just called first curve, into the braking zone. Then it's just a case of lightly tapping the brakes and going down the gears to get the car to turn into this turn 1, this sweeping right-hander. Then into turn 2, where we start to enter into the S's, this section of left, right, left, right, left, right. Sounds like the army marching, doesn't it? But there we go, the Gower taking us through turn 6 then, which leads us up a slight incline and into Dunlop curve at turn 7. and then we start down a very slight hill towards turn 8 at Degner Curve, a very sharp right-hander with an even sharper right-hander at the bottom at turn 9. Oh, don't want to drift too far out there on the left, but that was well done through Gower. That then carries us through to turn 11 at the hairpin, and it is literally that, a very, very tight left-hand hairpin. Back on the power as early as you dare, and then it is full throttle now, all the way through the back stretch. Back stretch. Through 200R. 200R because it's, yeah, you guessed it, it's a radius of 200 metres. Then we're into turns 13 and 14 at Spoon Curve. Again, another tricky turn to get right. Then we're on to the back stretch. So it is now full throttle all the way up the hill towards over the crossover. Then we're into 130R, which then leads us to the chicane at Casio Triangle. Again, you've got that AstroTurf all over the place, ready to catch you out if you go drifting over onto it. Through the final turn then and across the start finish line. So well done to Gower. There we go. We've now decided to give us the fastest laps, and Gower has that honour at the minute. 2 minutes and 7 seconds, or 2.7 should I say, 2 dead. So that's Gower out in front then, and the gap, is it getting bigger? It's definitely maintained. Mika's still doing a fantastic job in P2 at the minute. He'll be enjoying this one. Nath is in third. Dan has now moved up to fourth, so he's managed to get by Paul. He probably did, a big slide from Dan as he gets the exit of turn 6. A little bit wrong there, but well held. Good car control from Dan as he exits Dunlop Curve down the hill towards turns 8 and 9. So Dan up to fourth. He's pushing, is he? He'd love another win. Would Dan like I said at the beginning of this race, he's had a fantastic opener to this season. And he'll be looking to maximise his points today. Paul, though, not giving it up, sitting there in 5th. He's just going to sit behind Dan as we follow him up towards up turn 12, up towards Spoon then for the 7th time. 13 laps this one, all in the dark. I can't imagine it's going to get any lighter as this race progresses. In fact, it's not going to get any lighter anyway, looking at the black clouds on the radar system, so it could get very wet later on. Grasshopper in P6. Oh, let's have a look. We've got Dan making a move on Nath. He's in third. Dan on the inside as they come up to 130R, and yeah, Dan very wisely just backs out of that one. I think it was more a case of letting Nath know that he's there and he is prepared to take the opportunity if it arises as they go through Casio Triangle then for the 7th time around the final turn and across the start finish line. Now Dan is very close to Nath. Let's jump on board with Dan as we head down towards the first turn. Now is Dan gonna have a look at the inside. He moved over, but I think that was more just so he could see his braking point and didn't run into the back of Nath. Very neatly done there from all three of these guys. In fact, Paul as well, with Paul just behind. So we've got Nath is sitting there in third. We can see Mika just up ahead, not that far away. So there is still a podium position up for grabs here. And Dan senses it. He's used to that champagne now, isn't he? I don't think he can go a race without it. He's becoming alcoholic. He's been drinking that much champagne after all of his wins. And yeah, he'll start to get twitchy if he doesn't get a glass at the end of each race. Through turn 9. Oh! I thought he was going to lose it then, but held on to it. Good catch. Managed to grab hold of that one before it got out of control. Paul sitting in 5th. Now then, for those that don't know, and I tell you often enough, so you should know, Paul has got his own YouTube channel and does the commentary for... I can't remember now. It's AM1, I think he does. I think it is AM1, which produces some fantastic racing. Paul is an excellent commentator. So if you have not gone over to his channel, why not? I suggest you get over there after this race. It is URL_Paul E72 Racing, and check his YouTube out. He is a fantastic commentator, and yeah, there's some great racing to be seen on his channel. So yeah, at the end of this race, don't leave now, but at the end of this race, hop over there, get subscribed to Paul's channel, and then you can see what he's up to as well. And then you can come back and see me, because I'm going to bring you race 2. We've got Grasshopper in P6, managed to open up a little bit of a gap now back to Stubbs. So Grasshopper with a bit more breathing space, maybe he can concentrate on trying to catch up to the back of Paul now, that he's not going to have to keep checking his mirror at every turn. Obviously he's going to keep checking his mirror, but he's not going to have to do it as closely now. Now he's managed to shake off the attention of Stubbs, so Grasshopper is going to get on after Paul as he goes around turn 1 and enters into the S's for the 9th time. Stubbs in 7th, as I say, just dropped off the back of Grasshopper. May have been a slight mistake, may have been a penalty that we didn't pick up, but still sitting there in 7th, so still some decent points to be had from Stubbs. But he'll just keep going. Let's have a look. His last lap was a 2:02.3. Oh, and he's gone purple as well, so good S section for him. Around Dunlop Curve he goes, so that's Stubbs in P7 at the minute. Let's just see if he can continue this fast lap. Fastest lap at the minute is Nath now, is a 2:05, so shave 0.2 off, I think, Gower's time. So that's Stubbs in 7th, Brian Moncarney in 8th, with a bit of a gap between himself and Stubbs, but nothing that's not that Brian can't catch up. Then we've got Silly Shot, made his way up into 9th. We're not quite sure what happened to him at early doors, but he did drop down a little bit more. He's gone up to P9 now, and chasing Brian Moncarney. Why did we miss Brian Moncarney out? Brian Moncarney in that Jaguar. Well, it's definitely a lady Jaguar because of the eyelashes and the lipstick. We can't really see it in this light, but yeah, it is definitely I'm not sure what would he call it. Brenda? You'll have to let me know, Brian, what you've named your car. Is it Brenda? Brenda Moncarney, that's what it is. Brenda Moncarney, the Jaguar. Then we've got Silly Shot in 9th, P White in 10th, Chuck in 11th. Not, oh dear me, well, he's had a bit of a moment, hasn't he, Chuck? Which we've missed, and apologies. We're missing everything, aren't we, this morning? Chuck not enjoying this first race, so he will just now be treating this as a bit of a practice session, trying to fine-tune those braking points and turning in points, etc., just so he can come back fighting, ready for race 2. Now, as I did say earlier, didn't I, this track, there are a couple of turns, well, a lot of turns actually. The slightest mistake will cost you your race, and I think that's what's happened to Chuck. Same with Bloomfield. Well, he's a long way off, isn't he, Bloomfield? So he's definitely had a big old moment, which I'm sure he'll be glad that we've missed. We, as the crowd, would like to see it, but I'm not going to go back and start searching for it. But poor Bloomfield, way down in P12, and I can't really see him improving on that one with only 3 laps to go. But again, Bloomfield, keep going, treat it as a practice lap, ready for race 2. Back up to the top though, and well, look at the gap that Gower's opened up now. So it's about time he started to get himself back up there on the podium after his promotion last season. So Gower really now started to show us what he's made of, and leading by quite a gap, so he obviously loves this track. We'll see how he fares a little bit later on if that rain comes along. Nath in 2nd, he's managed to get by Mika. We really are missing everything, aren't we? Nath into 2nd though, Mika in 3rd, just behind him. And then Dandan in 4th. Now then, I did say Dandan, he senses a podium finish. He's got to get a little bit closer to Mika though, as they go into the chicane. I forgot what it was called then. As they go into the chicane then for the 10th time. So soon to start lap 11. With 3 laps to go then. So Dandan, there is time for Dandan to get himself up on the podium. Mika, on the other hand, has got other ideas, and he's sniffing around looking for a shot at P2. So it looks like the big step he's taken. Gower has already put his name on that one. So these three guys all fighting it out for the second and third step on the podium then. So at the minute we've got Nathan in second, Mika in third, Dandan in fourth, Paul is in fifth, Grasshopper in sixth, getting a little bit spread out now mid-pack, Stubbs in seventh. Then we've got Brian Moncani and Silly Shot. Now then, Silly Shot having a look at taking P8 away from Brian Moncani. So we'll just stick with these two guys for a few turns. We are around Dunlop Curve, then a Silly Shot tries to get that power down to get a little bit closer to Brian Moncani. Now, not a lot of places to overtake, as we've already said, so he's just going to have to be a little bit careful as we go through Degner, then through turn 9, underneath the crossover bridge. And Silly Shot just having a bit of a look at the inside there, but you're not going to get it done at turn 11 at the hairpin, trying to stick as tight as he can to that inside apex. Silly Shot really stuck to the bumper of Brian Moncani's car and fancies his chances now, doesn't he, as Silly Shot almost goes side by side. Brian Moncani though defending well. Into Spoon they go, and it is Silly Shot. He's just going to have to be patient, try and get as close as you can to Brian Moncani, get a decent exit out of turn 14 and then get your foot down. Get into the slipstream, heading up towards 130R. There is a slight hill here now, as we've said many occasions. The slipstream really is no good at the minute, and Silly Shot couldn't quite get close enough. Oh, he's drifted too far out there at the 130R, and that is the danger of this when you're pushing so hard. Fantastic shot of those brake discs glowing red hot in the dark as these guys try and slow these Jaguars down. So Silly Shot's got to start all over again, though he is running out of laps. There's only 2 laps to go, but he is still putting the pressure on Brian Moncani. Let's just have a look a little bit further down. P. White in P10 at the minute. There is a slight gap between himself and Silly Shot, but he could really do with the 2 guys ahead of him to start having a good old fight, because that will allow him to catch up. Then we've got Chuck in 11th, all on his lonesome, and the same with Bloomfield as well. He thinks everybody else has gone home and just left him to it, but he'll come back fighting in race 2, I am sure. Back up at the top, Gower, he's another one who thinks everybody's gone home and left him, although if he looks in his mirror he might just about catch the headlights of Nath now as Nath comes out of turn 11. Nath battling away with Mika, although the gap has started to open up now. So what's Nath got? 3, 4, 5 car lengths gap between himself and Mika. So bit of breathing space for Nath. He's not going to catch Gower, I don't think, unless Gower makes a mistake. Mika likewise probably resigned himself to third at the minute, and he's going to concentrate and holding on to that third podium spot. But Dandan chasing him down, although he is running out of time because they are soon to be starting the final lap, and there is a gap there between Mika and Dandan. It is probably just under a second, but it may as well be 5 minutes if you're not that close. So Dandan just waiting for Mika to make a mistake, which is probably not going to come, and I'm not going to try and curse it. So I'll leave them two to it. Paul is there in 5th. This is a decent race for Paul, actually. I'm sure he'll be pleased with this one. I know he would like to finish on the podium, but 5th is still a good result when you're looking at the guys around you. So good result for Paul. Trouble is, these guys will be starting at the back in race 2, and they've got to try and fight their way through the pack. Now then, if it doesn't rain, then it will be mediums and hard tyres in race 2, so there will be a pit stop required. If the rain does come, and we only need a few drops of it to hit the track, as Paul goes very wide there. Well, I thought he went very wide. If a bit of water does hit the track, then all tyre rules go out the window, and no mandatory pit stop required, although they may need to come in for fuel, I'm not sure. So we're on the final lap. Let's just have a look and see where Gower is. Gower just coming up to the hairpin. It does look like he's backed off a little bit. Yeah, 201.6 with his last lap. He's fine. Nath has got the fastest lap, a 2.4, so Nath, although he's got the hammer down now, he's not going to get close enough to Gower, I don't think, to take the win away from him. Gower around Spoon. He's just about to exit and get onto the back stretch. And yeah, he's just going to make it safely through the chicane. We may as well stay with Gower now, follow him up towards the end so we don't miss it. You can see Nath there catching, but Gower's not bothered. The gap is big enough. He knows the win is his, as long as he just makes it around 130R safely, and he has done. Into the chicane then for the final time for Gower. Fantastic racing from him. Well-deserved victory. As soon as he got in the lead, he was gone. There was no looking back, a flash of the lights. Well done to Gower, congratulations to him. Nath at second, he'll be pleased with that. Mika, you can see how pleased he is with third. Paul is going to come across the line in fourth. Is he just ahead of Dandan? And he does as well. Grasshopper finishes in sixth. Stubbs seventh, a flash of the lights from him. Thank you very much. Silly Shot. Are we going to get a flash of lights from Silly Shot? No. Brian Mulcahy does. P. White. No flash of the lights. Chuck, are we going to get a flash of lights from Chuck? Well, he's a long way back, and for some reason he's slammed his brakes on. He's let Bloomfield through. Unless Chuck is being tactful and he's thinking about starting on pole position for race 2. Not that it matters. In fact, I think you're probably better off starting in P2 because you're on the inside line then. If you can get a good start. But nevertheless, Bloomfield flash of the lights from him. Same with Chuck as well. So well done to those guys. Tough racing here at Suzuka. It always produces some great racing. Like I say, it is not the biggest of track, widest of tracks rather, so overtaking is difficult. That was race 1 for the Pro Split 2 guys. I will be back very shortly. So like I said, head over to Paul's channel, check him out, get subscribed, and then pop back here and we'll have a look at race 2, shall we? In the meantime, I shall leave you to it.